Barbecue Apron Day. And Wrigley Field, I have a feeling some fans were using the aprons as a poncho, battling the rain. But always a good time to get out and grill and use that apron. First 10,000 fans receiving that. And Bob, we're ready. Finally. Had another rain delay here at Wrigley Field. The Cubs with that big come from behind win yesterday over the White Sox. Still in pretty good shape in the NL Central, and the Indians come in with the worst winning percentage in the American League, and only the Washington Nationals have a lower winning percentage in all of baseball. Well, there were high hopes for the Indians again. They got off to a slow start last year, finished fairly strong. It's 7 games out. In the American League Central, they've hit the ball, they've scored runs. Their pitching has been, for the most part, abysmal.
Yeah, their pitching has been really bad. They've missed Fausto Carmona tremendously. A couple guys they were counting upon heavily in that bullpen have not pitched up to their capabilities. And don't discount the absence of Grady Sizemore, their power-hitting, base-stealing leadoff hitter. They still hope to get him back in the very near future. He's going to have to try to pass some tests, throwing the baseball, swinging the bat, to see if he's able to continue to play this season or whether he'll need season-ending surgery.
And to update you on where the Cubs stand, they're only 2 games ahead of the 2 teams in last, but 4 games out and only 2 back in the loss column behind Milwaukee. So that's how we start the weekend.
With Rich Harden on the mound, that's a great way to start the weekend.
And Milwaukee's at Detroit this weekend, a couple of first place teams, so the Cubs rooting for the leaders in the AL Central. Now the Indians Southwest starting lineup. Jamie Carroll has 10 career home runs. 3 have come against the Cubs. The former Cub Mark DeRosa hot, 3 home runs during a 7-game hitting streak. Victor Martinez second in the AL in batting. Shin-Soo Choo gets on base a lot. Johnny Peralta's at third. Shopik back of the plate. Valbuena at short. Francisco in for the injured Grady Sizemore in center. And Cliff Lee, the pitcher, will bat ninth.
Some tweaks to the Cubs lineup. Let's take a look at their defense today. Soriano, Johnson, and Bradley across the outfield. Jake Fox getting his first major league start at third base here today. Ryan Terrio at short. Andres Blanco over at second base. The red-hot Derek Lee over at first base. Giovanni Soto with the big game-tying home run yesterday behind the plate once again today for right-hander Rich Harden. Look at his numbers on the season. A brief stint on the disabled list. We mentioned his last time out. First start off the disabled list. Extremely good against the Minnesota Twins. 6 strong innings. Gave up only 5 hits. Struck out 9.
Some blue sky. Sun is coming out. And Rich Harden ready to work against Jamie Carroll. We are underway. Strike 1 according to the crew chief Randy Marsh. One and one on Carroll, who's playing second base. And that's a strike on a changeup. So Marsh in his 28th year behind the plate. Hudson, Barksdale, and Colon on the bases. 1-2 pitch. Johnson coming in. Makes a catch. Nice diving grab by Reed Johnson.
Next batter, left fielder number 7, Mark DeRosa.
A standing ovation for Mark DeRosa. Back here at Wrigley Field, a swing and a miss at a Harden changeup. A little smile from Mark. Probably knew he was going to get a change at some point. Just maybe not on the first pitch. Well, good to see Mark back here on the north side of Chicago. 2 excellent years with the Cubs.
You know, Len, you mentioned his numbers on the field, obviously very good in his 2 years here in Chicago. But I think probably equally as important is Mark DeRosa was a stand-up guy in the clubhouse. After those particularly tough losses when some of his teammates chose not to speak to the media, Mark DeRosa was always the guy to stand up there in front of his locker and take the heat from the media, try to explain what had happened, try to explain what was going to happen the next day, and never shirked his duties as a team player on the field or a team leader off the field.
Saw Menard's big numbers stat. DeRosa with 13 homers already this season. And Johnson with another opportunity, but he doesn't have to leave his feet this time.
Yeah, Reed Johnson's been busy already. That sinking line drive off the bat of Jamie Carroll to start the ball game. The only reason he was able to make that diving catch is the great jump that he got to start after that baseball. Well, hit that ball good. It was sinking in a hurry, but Reed got a great jump, able to make that diving catch.
Here comes Victor Martinez playing first base today. He's a catcher as well. He's a switch hitter. And he's putting together a monster year. And he flies to left. Soriano flipping down the shades, the hop, the catch, and the inning. 10 pitches for Harden to get the first 3 outs against a tough Indians offense. Tough pitcher Cliff Lee coming up against the Cubs offense when we come back. Rain, we know about that. As you get a good look at the ivy. The Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Big change. Jake Fox gets his first career start at third base. Also Andres Blanco in there at second for the second straight day. Today against the lefty Cliff Lee.
Quick look at the Indians defensively. DeRosa, Francisco, and Chu across the outfield. Peralta at third. Valbuena at short. Carroll over at second base. Victor Martinez at first. Kelly Shopik doing the catching today for left-hander Cliff Lee.
Don't let the wins and losses fool you. Soriano swings at the first pitch. Didn't get all of it. It's DeRosa in left center. He got another nice hand from the fans in the bleachers as he went out to take his position. 1 out.
They just want him to throw a baseball up there. That's all. Well, he definitely has a fan club here in Chicago.
I think the matchup tomorrow is going to be a little more compelling than today, because Mark DeRosa hit 2 homers and almost hit a third off Ted Lilly in spring training. Very good friends, and they'll match up again tomorrow. Cliff Lee at 4-6, but his ERA good for 7th in the American League.
As you could see, right-handers clearly hit a lot better against Cliff Lee. Lefties a .231 average with only 1 home run on the season. Righties hitting .309 with 4 homers.
Ontario at .326 versus lefties. The one stat, Bob, I really took note of as I looked at the career of Cliff Lee. He used to be a fly ball pitcher, but now gets more ground ball outs than fly ball outs, and that really changed drastically last year. And I guess it's the use of his curveball.
Now we're told his curveball is much better, a tighter rotation, is able to keep it down at the bottom of the strike zone a lot more consistently. And besides the curveball, he also features a couple of different fastballs, one that will tail away from the right-handed hitters, a cutter that he'll use to try to get inside. Also has a real good straight changeup.
Second time in his career he has faced the Cubs. This is his Wrigley Field debut. He beat the Cubs in Cleveland in 2006. Greg Maddux was on the mound that day for the Cubs. So Lee 1-0 against the Cubs, and he's gone to a full count on Ryan Theriot with a former Indians teammate on deck, Milton Bradley.
His last time out, he did the Cubs a big favor, a complete game shutout against the St. Louis Cardinals. 9 innings, 3 hits in that ballgame.
Swing and a miss. Like he got him on the changeup.
Well, the ERA nearly the same, but look at the difference in the team record.
Well, the run support says it all. He's used to getting about 6 runs, but this year under 4. One of the best winning percentages of all time in a single season. Last year, 22-3. Bradley fouls it back. He's in a hot stretch. 7-game hitting streak during which he has batted .435. And he has crushed his former team. Last year, as a Texas Ranger, Bradley hit .485 with 4 homers and 33 at bats. I don't even have to look at the scouting report, Bob, to know that Cliff Lee works fairly quickly. Last week, his last start was on Sunday, a complete game against the Cardinals. It took an hour and 58 minutes.
Had a no-hitter into the 8th inning, was broken up by a Yadier Molina double. Got to see a little bit of that ball game on television. He was dealing.
Two and 2 on Bradley with Derek Lee on deck. Look out, Matt Sinatra, as that ball scooted past him at first. Lee is 30 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds. Acquired from Montreal in 2002, called strike 3 as he rings up Bradley. So each team goes down in order. Off to the second, nothing from Wrigley. Right fielder Shin Soo Choo with the double flap helmet. On base of 409 coming in. A 1-0 pitch from Harden is a changeup strike. Chu turned away from it. A 1-1 from Rich. Didn't mean to, and he tapped it foul. 1-2. Kind of a bizarre play on the Indians' last homestand on June 11th. We talked about it a few days ago. They had a bird problem. The gulls circling around the outfield, and they actually affected the outcome of the game. Chu went. That's a strikeout. And time for our Coors Light freeze cam. Ended up being a game winner for Shin Soo Choo on a single to center against the Royals. Coco Crisp trying to field the ball, and it hit the wing of a bird.
Wow. Well, that bird made out a lot better than that dove down in Tucson, Arizona, when Randy Johnson drilled it with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. But to help eradicate the bird problem, the Indians have started shooting off fireworks between every half inning at the ballpark there, just trying to chase the birds away.
Two quick ones on Johnny Peralta playing third base. Kind of a quick fireworks story at the old Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. I was at a game with my dad in 1987, I believe it was. And there were about maybe 4,000 people in the ballpark, which means about 71,000 empty seats. They were trailing Milwaukee. It was like 13 or 14 to nothing, and Brett Butler tripled in a run, and they set off fireworks with the offensive explosion. That was a little bit before they got really good. A lot of empty seats in that old ballpark.
I saw a lot of games at Old Municipal Stadium, as they called it, the mistake on the lake. That was a cavernous old ballpark.
A 1-2 to Peralta, and he held up. Peralta is a shortstop who's been playing a lot of third base, and he's been in the doghouse of manager Eric Wedge. Fly ball sending Johnson back over the shoulder and off his glove. And Peralta's going to make the turn and head for three, and he'll slide in safely.
It looked like Reed Johnson had a beat on it. That ball was hit a lot farther than anybody expected. It's kind of a half swing from Peralta, but got a lot of backspin on that ball, carried all the way to the track just to the right of straightaway center field, and Reed Johnson got a glove on it, but couldn't squeeze it.
Peralta is rewarded with a triple, his second of the year. His manager hasn't been too pleased with Peralta's approach lately, and he sat on the bench for a game earlier this week.
You mentioned Peralta has been a shortstop in the past in his career, but there were rumblings all along that he didn't have enough range to be a good shortstop at the major league level. He kind of played that position by default. Of course, they had Casey Blake in the past to play third base in Cleveland, but making the move over to the hot corner this year.
Kelly Shopik, the catcher, he has struck out a ton this year. 48 times in 125 at bats. So Rich Harden would love to get a punch out in this spot with a runner at third and only one out. Infield in. The pitch. Back to the screen, 1-2.
I think a lot of people would be surprised, Len. I know I was when I found out that Kelly Shopik had the third most home runs at the catching position in the major leagues last year. Brian McCann from Atlanta had 23, as did Giovanni Soto here in Chicago. Kelly Shopik with 21 home runs last year, 14 of them in the second half of the season.
Yeah, he led all catchers in slugging percentage last year, .526. Good block by Soto. Well, with Shopik catching Martinez at first, a similar situation to the White Sox, with Jim Thome not in their lineup in a National League park. Travis Hafner not in the lineup. Hafner has dealt with injury issues past couple of years, his shoulder. And he'll be lurking as a pinch hitter late today.
Now he's really the only left-handed bat that Eric Wedge has available off the bench. He also has switch hitting Trevor Crow, but Hafner is the guy you definitely want to keep an eye on late in the ballgame.
3-2 the count on Shopik. The kick and the pitch. Boy, a little bit of a flinch by Randy Marsh, but he didn't ring him up. That's a walk.
Like a pretty good pitch. We've talked about Randy Marsh in the past. For my money, one of the best umpires in the game. If he does have a fault, he doesn't like to call strike 3. He'll call strike 1, he'll call strike 2, but he has a hard time ringing up hitters. That pitch looked like it caught knees at the front of the plate.
Brings up the shortstop, Luis Valbuena, with runners at the corners, so the middlemen move back for a potential double play. Fox is in, and that ball is drilled. Bradley's going back on it, and it's going to reach the seats just over the basket into the front row, and it's a 3-run homer for Valbuena. Just his second career home run.
Line drive home run on a pitch well down below the knees. Just a screaming liner into that front row out there in straightaway right field.
So it's Ben Francisco playing center, swing and a miss.
Well, we talked about any momentum the Cubs might garner from that big win yesterday. They're going to be sorely tested now. Down 3 runs against Cliff Lee.
Keep this in mind, and it may apply more later in the series. As you mentioned, tough cookie on the mound for the Indians and Cliff Lee. But in the 3-game series against Milwaukee, ground ball to third, picked up by Jake Fox, and he throws out Francisco. The Indians, Bob, scored 25 runs, walked 17 times, had at least 10 hits in each game, and lost all 3. Their bullpen gave up 18 runs in the series. So I really think one big key even today is to find a way to make Cliff Lee throw too many pitches so he can't complete it.
Good point. I mean, Kerry Wood's been pretty good at the end for their bullpen, but they've really been searching for guys to bridge the gap from the starter to the closer.
Well, Valbuena, not the first guy you'd think about in terms of the power in this lineup, but he just hit his second career homer. Cleveland leads 3-0. We had a rain delay of 1 hour and 26 minutes before the first pitch. Temperatures in the mid 70s, slight wind out of the east. And it feels a little humid today.
If that line drive off the bat of Luis Valbuena is any indication, the ball is going to jump today.
See, the forecast, it didn't want to say it, but if you fill in the blanks, you might know what we mean. Trying to come up with another word that has starts with an R, ends with an N.
I tried to go with runs, but that didn't fit either because we had 2 letters to fill in there.
It's Lee versus Lee. Yeah, ruin, R-U-I-N, but that wouldn't work. Didn't want to ruin for a forecast. Although based on the forecast we've seen, we wouldn't mind that being ruined. First time Derek has faced Cliff. Big 3-run homer in the 8th for D. Lee yesterday. Scott Linebrink to extend his hitting streak to 15. His on-base streak to 25, and most importantly, it allowed Giovanni Soto homered right after that to tie it up. They went back to back.
That Derek Lee home run from the ball game yesterday. Came on a Scott Linebrink fastball down the middle of the plate, just does tuck it into the basket above the 368 mark in right center field. Before he could even get a seat in the dugout, Giovanni Soto followed suit with his own home run to left field.
I was listening to some sports talk radio after the game yesterday, and there were a lot of listeners who were crushing Ozzie for the moves he made with his bullpen late in the game. And it made me think of a couple of things. Number one, if you win, even if you make a bad move as a manager, what a fan would consider a bad move, nobody cares. If you lose, everything is second guessed. But as I think Ozzie said, you have a 5-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th. You should win that game. And the way the Cubs were swinging the bats, I think a lot of people were surprised they were able to get it going. But once they got it going, they didn't stop until they scored 5 times in the last 2 innings. And hopefully that's the win that gets them going, although Cliff Lee has now struck out 3 in a row. He's working with a 3-0 advantage.
That hard cut fastball starts just inside of the outside corner, works its way across the plate. Shoppach frames it on the inside corner for strike 3.
And also to the point of wins and losses, Lou was taking some heat before the game, I think, for not making any major lineup changes. But nobody talked about that after the game because the leadoff guy came up with the game-ending hit. Tapper foul. Giovanni Soto tied it up right after the D. Lee homer.
Showed a nice quick swing on another fastball. This one was inside, probably off the plate inside, but managed to get the barrel on it and get it well up into those bleachers in left field. Yeah, wins take care of a lot. Just about everything.
Jake Fox on deck. Lee working to Soto, and his 1-2 pitch called strike 3. It's 3 straight of the looking variety, 4 straight overall.
Yeah, I said Randy Marsh doesn't like to call strike 3, but when the opposing pitcher throws the ball right down the middle of the plate on a 2-strike count, it's pretty hard not to call this pitch a strike. I mean, that is all over the zone, middle of the thighs, middle of the plate.
In general, without asking Gio, what does that tell you when a guy takes that pitch with 2 strikes?
Tells you he's either thinking too much or he was looking for something else. And you never should be guessing with a 2-strike count.
We are probably now going to see some early swings. Lee striking out 4 against the first 5 batters. But as we said earlier, the key in this series is to get into their bullpen as fast as possible.
You know, the numbers would say you don't want to attack Cliff Lee on the first pitch of the sequence. Opposing batters hitting only 184 when they swing at that first pitch.
He has not struggled early on, and he has a 3-0 lead. Soriano and the Cubs end their reunion with former teammates Mark DeRosa and Kerry Wood. Interleague action here at Wrigley Field. Don't miss it. The Cubs hosting the Indians. Pregame time 12:30. Right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Left-hander Jeremy Sowers for the Indians, and righty Randy Wells still searching for his first major league win. The pitching matchup that day. First pitch around 1:20. Second time through the order for Harden. 2-0 on Jamie Carroll. Two balls and a strike. Carroll has enjoyed hitting here in this ballpark, and it'll always have a special place in his heart. He made his major league debut here at Wrigley Field September of 2002. It's a leadoff walk to Carroll.
Never a good idea, but especially with the 3 guys you have coming to the plate. We've well documented Mark DeRosa's great start to this season, then Victor Martinez and then Chu, the 3 hottest hitters in this Indians lineup in those 2, 3, 4 spots.
Outside on DeRosa. A smattering of applause for his second at bat. By about his 4th, they'll probably be booing him.
Yep.
He was traded on New Year's Eve for 3 pitchers: Jeff Stevens, Chris Archer, and John Gobb, all in the Cubs minor league system now. Career highs in home runs, RBIs, runs, walks, on base percentage, slugging, stolen bases. In 2008. 48 ribbies already for DeRosa. Harden trying to find the strike zone. Still hasn't. It's 3-0. The pitch. And he has walked back-to-back hitters to start this inning. Let's go down memory lane. Mark DeRosa in his first year as a Cub, and the Cubs needed it. It was a day after Lou had his meltdown. And DeRosa with a big grand slam against his former team, the Atlanta Braves. And one of the big wins that season as the Cubs got it together. They won 10-1 that day. Harden has only thrown one strike to the first two batters of this inning, and Martinez and Chu coming up. They're going to make him throw strikes.
No question about it. Both guys more than willing to take a walk. They always try to work that hitter's count where they can really be aggressive and swing the bat. To find some quality strikes here and find them in a hurry.
It is two teams. Well, we talked about the similarities between the Cubs and the White Sox in terms of the pitching they've received and the inconsistent offense. The Indians, Bob, are just the opposite. They can score a ton of runs, but they've been giving up a lot. The big difference today is they have their ace on the mound. That's why you can't get down too many runs.
Well, they take a lot of walks as an offensive ball club, and they give a lot of walks as a pitching staff, with the exception of Cliff Lee.
Martinez hits another home run for the Indians. That's a second three-run shot in the last two innings. Valbuena in the second, and now Martinez in the third, and that's what happens when you walk the first two guys in this lineup. It's 6-0.
Coming into this series, Martinez had 9 runs driven in his last 7 ball games. Also had 8 walks and had scored 8 runs. No question, he is the hottest hitter in this Indians lineup.
A lot of these guys in that dugout have never played in this ballpark. As we mentioned, the last time, the only time the Indians had been here prior to today was 1998. Guys like Martinez and Valbuena have gotten very comfortable here early on. 1-1 to Chu is fouled back and out of play. A lot of them not familiar with this ballpark. They are very familiar with Rich Harden, formerly of the Oakland A's. They've scored a ton of runs on the road. Base hit right field. A home run for Martinez, a milestone shot, his 100th career homer.
You saw some confusion over there in that Indians dugout with the bullpen phone. I'm sure that's what they were probably trying to do, is track down that home run ball. If one of the guys in the bullpen or the security guard could run it down. And the phone on the other side is being used for a more traditional purpose. David Patton starting to throw.
Strike on Peralta. Cubs went 0-2 against the Indians in 1998 here at Wrigley. That is foul. So there are only 2 current teams the Cubs have never beaten here. The Indians and the Angels, who have never played at Wrigley Field.
Well, then that doesn't count. Can't be expected to beat a team you've never played here.
That's right. So I guess the Indians are the only team they've played here that they haven't beaten. Better way to put it. As great a stretch as the Indians had in the 1990s. They did not win the World Series. They went there twice, 1995 and 97. Peralta got good wood on it, but Soriano's going to make the catch. The two longest championship droughts in baseball belong to these two teams. Only the Cubs have had a longer drought, as the Indians haven't won the World Series since 1948. So one out in the inning. Here's Shopping, who walked right in front of Valbuena in the second. Going outside. Bob, where's the rain?
I don't know. Man, I'll tell you. Things blew up rather quickly on Rich Harden here today. There's a home run by Valbuena, a huge surprise. Just not a home run hitter. It was a line drive that barely got up into the front row. But Victor Martinez, his was a no-doubter, but as you mentioned, the two walks that preceded it really did the damage.
Joe Skinner, their third base coach. And the Indians manager. Two on Shopping.
Shopping leads the major leagues in getting plunked by pitches. Been hit 14 times this year. As a matter of fact, the Indians with 46 as a team lead the majors in getting hit by a pitch.
Yeah, they set the major league record last year. They were hit 103 times.
I think they're on pace for about 110 this season. And believe it or not, a guy like Kelly Shopping, that's something that you should address in your advance meeting. Obviously, he's not afraid to get plunked. Probably doesn't make a real effort to get out of the way of inside pitches. And your pitching staff needs to know that going in. If you're going to come inside with a fastball to him, he's just as likely to turn into it and head on down to first base as he is to get out of the way.
Most earned runs he has allowed as a member of the Cubs. Chu was running on that first 3-2 pitch, so Harden throws over.
Chu's a perfect 11 out of 11 this year in stolen base attempts. Not a lot of speed in this Cleveland lineup without Grady Sizemore, but Chu and Ben Francisco, two guys that will steal a base.
Chu runs again, and a high fly ball to left. Soriano now drifts back near the well, makes the grab. Chu back to first, 2 outs. On Sunday, August 9th, minor league excitement returns to Wrigley Field with the second annual Road to Wrigley presented by National City, now part of PNC. Get ready for a day of fun featuring Berserk and the Wacky Superstars. Kids 14 and under will get a chance to run the bases after the game. Don't miss the action as the Iowa Cubs take on the Las Vegas 51s at Wrigley Field. Order your tickets today at Cubs.com. Boy, Rich Harden is not fooling this Indians offense. The second time through the order. They are really squaring him up.
As I mentioned earlier, the ball seems to be carrying extremely well today. It sounded like Shopik may have broken his bat on that fly ball to left field, but it chased Soriano all the way to the ivy to make the catch. As a general rule, when the weather heats up here at Wrigley, the ball tends to jump. And it is a warm, muggy day here today. Temperature at 75 when the game started. Wind blowing from the right field corner toward the left field corner.
We heard a fairly large contingent of Indians fans would be in the ballpark today, but nothing close to what the Twins brought in last weekend. Pulled. Oh, nice play by Derek Lee. That was a fair ball. He picked it out of the air and gets Balbuena at first base. Tough inning for Harden. Another 3-run shot. This time it's Martinez, and it's 6-0. The Indians hit the ball as hard as we've seen anybody hit it against Rich Harden since he's been a Cub.
Now, generally against Rich Harden, you see a lot of balls hit off the end of the bat on that changeup, and a lot on the handle of the bat when he surprises him with the fastball. But this is about as many baseballs squared up as we have seen against Rich Harden in his time here in Chicago.
Well, partner, what's the approach now? I mean, it's 6-0 against the Cy Young Award winner from last year, but it's only in the 3rd inning. You can't really change your game or your approach this early, can you?
Well, no, but you have to be a little less aggressive. Maybe take a strike, just force Cliff Lee to work a little bit out there on the mound. A lot of these Cubs hitters are getting their first look at him, or have had very few looks at him in the past.
That's the curveball. Boy. 5 Ks for Lee. Yeah, who is this guy? Cy Young.
Yeah.
3rd time the Cubs have faced both reigning Cy Young Award winners in the following season. 2-1 last year against CC Sabathia and Jake Peavy. 89, the Cubs were 3-1 versus Hershiser and Viola. Robin Williams look-alike in the ballpark. Andres Blanco batting right-handed. Hit that ball hard, but it's caught by Francisco. Never quite sure how Andres is going to come up there. Treat your top clients, employees, or family to an all-inclusive experience in the Bud Light Batter's Eye. Your guests will enjoy Wrigley Field luxury and never have to open their wallets while enjoying unlimited food and beverages, reserved seating, private restrooms, and a breathtaking view of the friendly confines for only $165 per ticket. For more info, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-Cubs. This is a 9th batter of the game for Cliff Lee, and he has no hit stuff today.
Yes,
I don't think there's any question about that. Not saying he's going to do it. Hopefully, Cubs can break that up here very quickly. But it has been nasty. Again, he took a no-hit bid into the 8th on Sunday. Needed just 93 pitches to beat the Cardinals on 3 hits. Interesting to note, before the top of the 8th, they asked on the big scoreboard in Cleveland a trivia question to a fan who was at the game. Last pitcher to throw a perfect game for the Indians. Len Barker was the answer. Pop fly left field, DeRosa. And he did not get it. And he's hurt. Well, he hit that ledge over there really hard. Maybe got it in the ribs, maybe an ankle.
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
Maybe
Eric Wedge
more,
is going to come out and check on DeRosa.
Those bricks are unforgiving. They are undefeated lifetime. Limping hard on that left leg. Looked like he was holding his arm at an awkward angle as he was laying over there at the base of the bricks. I mean, Mark DeRosa is well aware of those bullpen mounds over there. He knows he's getting close to the wall. The bullpen phone right there, man. Took that phone hard to the outside of his left thigh.
Well, the worst spot right at the edge of the padding. So a painful return to Wrigley Field for Mark DeRosa.
He's a football player. Well, we saw Alfonso Soriano make a similar play, although he didn't hurt himself and he didn't run hard into the bullpen phone. But Soriano made a nice running catch over there in that Cubs bullpen in the ball game yesterday.
Don't worry, Mark. The pain will go away in October.
Yeah.
Harden's had maybe the best at bat so far by a Cub, battling with Cliff Lee. 2-2. So to finish the story, they during a no-hitter, they asked who had the last perfect game. You know, and they give the answer, Len Barker. Well, the first batter of the next inning doubled to break up the no-no, Yadier Molina. And you know how baseball players are about superstition.
Oh, yeah. And fans, for that matter.
The question was pre-planned before the game, but still pretty funny. And Cisco won't get there, and Rich Harden, strangely enough, breaks up the no-hitter in the 3rd inning. Right after I talked about the no-hitter being broken up in Cleveland. That was a great at-bat.
Fastball up and out over the plate. Nice, quick, abbreviated swing. Just try to get the barrel on it. Let the pitcher supply the power. I'll say something about a shutout. He pitched a shutout his last time out. He's got shutout stuff. If it were only that easy.
One strike on Soriano, who has remained extremely upbeat and positive through one of the worst slumps of his life. Floated one out into right center to win the game yesterday. His first 2-hit game over his last 25. He rolls one to the hole. It's short. Stretched by Martinez. What a play by Valbuena, who's done it on both ends early on. 6-0 Indians. To win the MVP award and the World Series in the same season.
I would have a guess. Without cheating, I'd have a guess.
Okay. Get the answer coming up. I guess the one hint would be the World Series of note I mentioned earlier. Cub fan with his iPhone watching the game today. Ben Francisco leading off against Rich Harden. Called strike. Wants to text. 0-2. Let's see if Rich can settle down after giving up a 3-run homer in the second and another one in the third. And all the outs in the third were on hard hit balls. Another one hit hard, and that one glances off Ryan Terrio's mitt. And it's a single for Francisco. Time for today's Cabot Woodstain's legendary performance. On this date, 1973, Pete Rose of the Reds and Willie Davis of the Dodgers, each getting their 2,000th career hit. Lee in a bunting situation. He squares. Big Fox picks it up. Blanco covering first. There's the sacrifice of Lee's career.
These American League pitchers have been pretty impressive in their ability to get down sacrifice bunts in interleague play here at Wrigley Field. Well, the Twins put down a couple of bunts. The White Sox pitchers were able to get down some successful sac bunts, and now Cliff Lee gets his first sacrifice bunt of his career. Normally that situation, teams prefer to bunt the ball to the first base side. You wonder if the fact that Jake Fox is starting his first major league game at third base, maybe the Indians are going to try to test him down there if they can.
Fox into the lineup to try to add some offense against a tough left-handed starter. The 0-1 to Carroll misses 1-1. Carroll chokes up on the bat slightly. Lifted to right. Bradley back a few steps. It's behind the ball. Runner tagging. Francisco to third. His throw got all the way to Jake Fox, but he didn't really have a shot at it.
That's one time you don't really have to worry about a cutoff man. Go ahead and air it out. There's no other runners on base. Nobody's going to advance if you overthrow the cutoff man. So Milton Bradley gets behind the ball and really lets it fly all the way in the air to third base, but Francisco able to easily beat that throw from deep right field.
Marsh will break up this meeting as Mark DeRosa will bat for the third time.
Hey, Cub fans, you can get a full meal for under $5 thanks to McDonald's Appetite Stimulus Package. A hot sandwich, a cold drink, and delicious fries, all for under $5.
DeRosa has flied to center and walked and scored on the Martinez home run. Called strike. Low and in. Runner at third, 2 outs. The Indians lead 6-0 here in the fourth. We started almost an hour and a half late due to a rain delay. It's outside. Eric Wedge in his 7th season as a manager of the Indians. Again, they're off to a very disappointing start. He grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he was a big Cubs fan. First major league game as a youngster was in this ballpark. And like many managers, Bob, he's a former catcher.
Of course he is.
He ended his playing career after 8 surgeries, 4 to his right elbow, 2 on his right knee, 2 on his left knee, just 39 major league games over 4 seasons with the Red Sox and the Rockies. Broken bat floater, and DeRosa knocks in a run to make it 7-0. It's his 49th RBI already. That was reminiscent of Alfonso Soriano's game-ending hit yesterday.
Very similar to the game winner yesterday, and that's something Mark DeRosa had a propensity for even as a member of the Cubs. You put runners in scoring position, it wasn't always pretty, but he'd find a way to get those runners on the plate. I'm starting to think, Len, you know, a lot of former catchers end up as major league managers. I think probably the second best suited profession would be weatherman, because I guarantee you Eric Wedge knew it was going to rain when he woke up this morning. Those surgically repaired knees were probably throbbing a little bit. He knew there was weather in the area.
How was your knee today? You felt it, right?
It was all right. It was all right. I'm recovering nicely. Took a while.
1-1 on Martinez, who played in just 73 games last year, missed 2.5 months because of right elbow surgery. Or did they miss him? And Travis Hafner. Two and one on him. He was just shortstop growing up. He dreamed of becoming the next Ozzie Guillen from Venezuela. In fact, he was far from thrilled when the Indians told him they wanted him to become a catcher. Martinez is a two-time All-Star. The pitch. Bounding ball to Andres Blanco. Easy play to get the out. Mark DeRosa makes it 7-0 as he knocked in Francisco. All Indians early. In 1948, that's the last time the Indians won the World Series. Pretty good year that year for Lou. Native of Harvey, Illinois.
It's an amazing story. He was named player manager of that team when he was only 25 years old.
Ontario lines out on the first pitch of the fourth. He later managed the Cubs. 1960. He was a broadcaster here as well.
Oh, by the way, that would have been my guess.
Yeah, right. But 2 pitches and 2 outs. But you know what I'm clinging to today, Bob?
It's going to rain later?
Well, yesterday. I mean, they're down 5-1 in the 8th. They had nothing going offensively again. And I think if you polled everybody in the ballpark, I just don't know how many people would have predicted the Cubs were going to break out like they did. It looks rather dire as early as it is today against Cliff Lee, down 7-0. But you just never know in this game of baseball.
You certainly never know. Not the way you draw it up on paper, but stranger things have happened. And after yesterday's dramatic comeback victory, if you found a way to come back against Cliff Lee, trailing 7-0 in the 4th inning of a ball game, you want to talk about a huge momentum turnaround.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. Menard's grounds crew turned that into what has become a very nice day here at Wrigley. Field looks great. goodness for squeegees.
Yeah, it looks good now. It looked a little like the Shed Aquarium earlier this afternoon, but the grounds crew, as usual, just does an outstanding job. I don't know if there's a grounds crew in baseball. Well, of course, they've had a lot of practice doing it, but man, they can get this field turned around and ready to play in a heartbeat.
Gotten a little extra help the last 2 years with this modern drainage system. Fair ball for Lee into the left field corner. He'll make the turn and end up at second base. So a 16-game hitting streak, and for the first time, they have a runner in scoring position today.
The soft liner down into that left field corner. That ball got in on the hands of Derek Lee a little bit, but gets the bat through the zone quickly, muscles it over the head of the third baseman Johnny Peralta, and the Cubs have a runner in scoring position. It's going to take a big 2-out base hit by somebody.
On base streak up to 26. Outside ball one on Soto. When you tell the story of Cliff Lee's 2008 season, you have to go back to the year before, 07. He was bad. I mean, he had a 6.29 ERA, went 5-8, got off to a late start due to an abdominal strain. He could never get going. He spent some time in the minors, but then he came all the way back in the following year, won the Cy Young, and was the best pitcher in baseball. Comeback player of the year. He won about every award you could win. And just think, Bob, when the season started, CC Sabathia was in that rotation. He ended up in Milwaukee. In fact, Cliff Lee was not even guaranteed a spot in the Indians rotation when spring training started, and he ended up in the 5 spot last year. How many number 5 starters go on to win the Cy Young? Hit foul by Soto.
Some solid, not spectacular, but solid minor league seasons coming up through the system. But you know, a tall left-hander that for the most part throws strikes. Has a good curve ball. You can see why the Indians were patient with it. They felt they had something. It was just a matter of maturing into his body, learning how to use the weapons that he has, and he has certainly developed into one of the best left-handers in the game.
3-2 pitch to Soto, and he draws the first Cubs walk of the day. Well, I don't think Jake Fox is thinking home run here, but it sure would help. If they're going to hit 3-run homers, you might have to do it a couple of times.
I beg to differ.
You think he's thinking 3-run homer?
Jake Fox is always thinking 3-run homer, even with nobody on base. He's going to look for some piece of cheese from the middle of the plate in that he can pull hard into left field. At least until he gets to 2 strikes. Now, he has shown the ability to go back up the middle in the opposite way with 2 strikes, but early in the count, he's looking for something he can lift in the air to left field.
You might not get many more chances against Lee, so this is a big moment for the Cubs if they want to get back in it. Also foul 1-1.
You may have noticed on Jake Fox's bat, doesn't really have a knob at the end of the bat. It's just kind of flared and no knob whatsoever. That allows him to get that left hand, his bottom hand, down below the bottom of the bat. A lot of the big power hitters like to do that to give themselves, I don't know what the exact term is, but a lot of leverage, like a fulcrum as that bat comes around into the strike zone. He gets way down over the bottom of the bat.
Yeah, you're right. You can't even see the end of it. Roller up the middle. Oh, what a play. They got him? Oh, I don't think so. Oh, looked like Soto got to the bag, but the middle infielders teaming up to get the out. Lance Barksdale made the call. Well, we're a long ways away from up here. What a stop by Carroll. Did Valbuena get to second base in time? I think he did. Good call. 7-0.
One back up the middle of the field. Nice diving stop by Jamie Carroll. He shovels on to the shortstop Valbuena and just does beat Giovanni Soto to the bag at second. About as close a play as you could possibly have. Nice diving stop. Valbuena a little slow getting there, but it looks like his foot gets on the base a split second before Giovanni Soto.
Lance Barksdale got it right. Chu will lead off the fifth. One strike. Chu was acquired from Seattle in 06. He's from South Korea. He was a high school teammate of pitcher Chow Sung Baek. Outside of third, it's foul. Excellent year last year. After starting the season on the DL, recovering from Tommy John surgery on his throwing elbow, the left elbow, the previous September. That's high. 1-2. Called strike three on a change from Harden. His second strikeout. Both have come against Chu.
Chu, as we mentioned earlier, a very patient hitter. Knows the strike zone pretty well. That time Rich Harden gets away with a high changeup right at the edge of the strike zone.
Have you heard Rich Harden play guitar?
I have
seen him
not.
carrying his guitar around on the road occasionally. And enjoys playing it.
I've heard Randy Wells play Rich Harden's guitar, but I've never actually heard Rich Harden play.
It's a C9 single for Peralta for his second hit. Well, how did Randy sound?
Very good, yeah. He's got some chops. Reed Johnson, another guy that usually brings a guitar on the road. It's a great way to kill some time. Players have a lot of downtime in the afternoon and sometimes after the games in the evening. It's up to wind down after a ball game. I think of a lot less constructive things to do after a game.
Every trip I hear somebody wailing Freebird 4 in the morning. Thought it was you. They turn the double play. Shopik hits into the twin killing to end the inning. Bottom 5, it's 7-0 Cleveland. As advertised, and the one strength of the Indians, that is their offense. That has come as advertised too, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, more hard hit balls than we've seen against Rich Harden maybe forever. And unfortunately, one of those hard hit balls was the 3-run homer off the bat of Victor Martinez after back-to-back walks to the two guys at the top of the order. So a very uncharacteristic outing for Rich Harden today.
Mark DeRosa in his return to Wrigley Field with an RBI today. Reed Johnson will lead off the bottom of the 5th. The Cubs have just 2 hits. Johnson sends this ball deep, and it will go way back near the top of the bleachers. 7-1. That's where the big home run hitters hit them.
That's where the big boys live. Cubs off the snide. Reed Johnson doing what he does best, trying to jumpstart this team. Our Heineken home run replay, the first run of the game for the Cubs, comes on a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Reed Johnson all over it, way back into the bleachers in deep left center field. The 6th home run Cliff Lee has allowed this year.
One strike on Andres Blanco. I think the wind has blown from every direction since about 9 o'clock this morning. Right now blowing straight out. Carroll throws out Blanco. What did it say? Wind out of the east at 3. That's how we started.
Yeah.
It's coming out of the southwest. guess we can now call it a variable wind.
There you go. Hopefully it'll be blowing out in the bottom half of the inning and blowing in the top half.
Micah Hoffpower is going to bat for Rich Harden. He had a rough ride today in his 5 innings, giving up 7 runs.
You may ask yourself, why a left-handed pinch hitter against a tough left-handed pitcher? Well, Lou's options are limited today. He loaded his lineup with right-handed hitters. He has Hoffpower at the plate now, Fukudome and Fontenot, all left-handed hitters, and the 2 switch hitters, Coy Hill and Aaron Miles, available off the bench today. No straight right-handed hitters.
Checked his swing, but bounced it to third. Peralta throws out Hoffpower, 2 outs.
Hey fans, are you going to the game or looking for a place to watch it? Well, I'll tell you what, the Captain's Morgan's Club on Addison and Sheffield is calling your name. Can you hear him? Len. Open year-round with 30 flat-screen TVs and an outdoor patio, the Captain Morgan Club is the hottest new spot to watch the Cubs and every sporting event. Tickets or no tickets, we are calling all captains.
Alfonso Soriano. Ball 1 low. Three for 10 lifetime with a home run against Cliff Lee. See David Patton in the 6th after Harden taken out for the pinch hitter. 2-1. Everything else around baseball will be later tonight. Interleague play throughout except for the Pirates and the Rockies. As former Cub Jason Marquis goes for his 9th win against Ross Ohlendorf of the Pirates. Rich Hill, former Cub, will start for the Orioles tonight in Philadelphia. He's 2-1 with a .581. 2-out walk for Soriano, the second given up by Lee. Neuqua Valley High School baseball, an opportunity through baseball, are here with high school kids from East Aurora on the final day of their baseball camp. Steamy afternoon here at Wrigley Field. Ryan Theriot pops it up, shallow left. Valbuena calling off DeRosa, makes the catch, inning over. Reed Johnson led off the frame with his 4th homer of the season. The Cubs are on the board, but they still trail by 6.
offense. In today's ball game, it was the Indians doing a little more on defense. Jamie Carroll with a nice diving stop to shovel on to the shortstop, just beating Giovanni Soto at second base. I didn't notice it at the time, but that ball also hit the front of the mound to help slow it down even a little bit more, taking a base hit and an RBI away from Jake Fox.
Rookie righty David Patton is in, facing Luis Valbuena, who got the Indians going on offense with a 3-run homer in the second inning. .1-0 from Patton, right down the middle, 1-1. Tough day for Harden. 2 homers, 7 runs, 5 innings. You feel like we just completely bypassed spring? Temperatures in the 60s, maybe even the 50s. A little warmer yesterday, but all of a sudden it feels like August.
Yeah, it does feel that way. A little steamy today. Hey, we've learned from experience, though. You bring a jacket, you bring a raincoat, you bring a sweatshirt just in case, because you really never know. The wind could turn around in a heartbeat, start blowing in off the lake, and it could drop 20 degrees.
Easy play for Blanco. For individual health insurance from a name you can trust, call Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois at 866-575-BLUE. Francisco in center. 1 for 2 with a run. At the UCLA, 5th rounder in 2002. Santa Ana, California. Indians are really banged up. Grady Sizemore has a left elbow injury. He's on the DL. Asdrubal Cabrera, middle infielder, a shoulder injury. They have injuries on their pitching staff as well. Rafael Betancourt, right groin strain. Anthony Reyes done for the year, elbow surgery. Aaron Laffey, right oblique. Scott Lewis, an elbow. Jake Westbrook coming back from elbow surgery. But I think they cling to some hope because of their division. The first place team is only 4 games over 500. That's Detroit.
Well, the Indians were 10 games under 500 going into play today, but only 7 games out of first place, which all things considered is not that bad a shape.
Patton walks Francisco, and here's Lee. Cubs starting the afternoon 4 back and in 4th in the National League Central. Lee takes it high, ball 1. Ball 1 strike. Thought we might hear John Adams beating on the drum out in the bleachers in this series. Whenever you go to Cleveland or you watch a game from Cleveland, you hear that noise almost the entire game. Soto maybe thought about second, but then dropped it. He does get the out at first, and Lee has a second sacrifice.
Well, I saw some guy out on Waveland Avenue with a drum over his head. Maybe he planned on coming inside and banging on the drum, and a Cubs fan caught him before he could get in the door. Gio had thoughts about going to second base there, tried to barehand the ball, unfortunately looked up just a little bit too soon. Well, you see his head come up before he had the ball in his hand. Fortunately, still has time to throw on to first to get the easy out.
Carroll with 2 outs. And again, if we were in Cleveland right now, runner at second, 2 outs, you'd hear doom, 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 doom. The entire half inning.
Well, there are those that will say that that's the only heartbeat that the Indians have had this year, but they still hold out hope. As you said, a lot of players on the disabled list as those guys start to trickle back into the lineup and into that pitching staff. Same mantra that the Cubs have had throughout the first half of the season, just stay close. That youngster's a big David Patton fan. Bit of that carrot top working.
Yeah. A kick in the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, strike. Francisco walked with 1 out. He's in scoring position now with 2 gone. And a 1-2 on the way to Carroll. In the dirt. If the score is similar to what we see right now late, it'll be interesting if Eric Wedge decides to get Kerry Wood into the game today in a non-save situation. The only reason I mention that is Wedge may not want to bring Kerry Wood into a 1-run game, his first game back here at Wrigley Field. That's still a ways down the road. Patton strikes out Carroll, and it's still 7-1 Indians. Program for fans who like to travel to see their team play. Cubs Destinations, a preferred baseball road trip provider of the team, provides Cubs fans with the most unique VIP road trip experience available. Each package includes great tickets to sold-out games, first-class hotel accommodations, a VIP tour of each ballpark, and a private meet and greet with a current Cubs player. For more info or to book your trip, call 617-226-6550 or visit Cubs.com. Kerry Wood on the dugout. Soon down to a very unfamiliar bullpen to him. One down the first base line. A 1-2 to Bradley. High bouncer. Carroll got it. Oh, Jamie Carroll and Luis Valbuena. They've had a dazzling game defensively.
Boy, not only did he range far to his right up the middle of the field, that was a tough hop at the very end. Kind of took a stab at that ball on that big second bounce. Bradley going hard right out of the box. Well, that's about as good as you can do it for Jamie Carroll. He's had a stellar afternoon defensively. Just does get Bradley at first base. Well, look at Milt Bradley. That's the way you're supposed to hit the bag at first base. Upper body leaning forward like a sprinter reaching for that tape at the end of a 100-yard dash. Gives the umpire the illusion that your body is a lot further down the line than it really is when you lean forward as you're reaching for that bag.
Look from our high-speed shutter cam. His head beat the throw, but his foot did not.
With the more body parts you can get over that base as the ball is getting into that first baseman's glove, the better chance you have of that first base umpire thinking, well, geez, his head, his arms, everything was over the bag. He must have been safe. Good hustle.
Lee behind in the count. Rather, Derek behind in the count. I guess Lee might always be behind the count. I guess it's 1-1-2-2. Lee versus Lee. Count holding at 2 apiece.
It's the same pitch that Derek Lee got his base hit back in the 4th inning. That double down the left field line, a cutter off the inside corner of the plate. Back in the 4th, he was able to muscle it over the third baseman Johnny Peralta's head for a double. That time just fouled it straight back.
That's clubbed to center. Francisco won't have a play. It's out. Ball carrying to center today, and Derek Lee using that wind to make it 7-2. Career homer 267 for Lee.
Well, that one made that good noise. His double may have been off the handle of the bat, but our Heineken home run replay, he squares this one up right off the barrel. Line drive home run into the bleachers in center field.
A sarcastic laugh by Cliff Lee, who had never pitched in this ballpark before today. Well, that's probably an out in a lot of ballparks, but not here with the wind blowing out. So the big difference today is both teams with 2 homers, but the Indians have done it with the 2 men on base twice. The Cubs homers have been solo shots.
Now, an opposing pitcher's perception of this ballpark can change drastically depending on the wind conditions. Cliff Lee probably thinks Wrigley Field is a bandbox based on what he's seen today, but come back and pitch on another day with that wind blowing straight in, and you'd love to pitch here.
Days like this, we saw some heavy thunderstorms, some nasty looking lightning, a lot of wind, and the standings flags taken down. Only flag on the scoreboard is the American flag. full count. Fox is on deck. Ball 4. Cliff Lee has not yet had a 20-pitch inning, but he may be on his way this time around.
Up to 90 in the ball game. Couple of real patient at bats today by Giovanni Soto, drawing 2 base on balls. Soriano also drew a walk back in the 5th inning. He had only walked 20 on the season coming into play today. Consistently missing up high out of the strike zone, a dangerous area to pitch to anyway with the conditions the way they are here at Wrigley today. Yeah, Jake Fox leans on one right here. You got a whole different ball game. You mentioned the bullpen problems that the Indians have had this year, trying to get from the starter to Kerry Wood to close the ball game. Make this a 3-run game. Find a way to chase Cliff Lee out of there. You'd have a couple of innings to work on that bullpen.
And Heilman up for the Cubs. Well, not just to pick on the Cleveland bullpen, their starters have had issues too, aside from Lee. They have not been giving Eric Wedge deep starts, and that usually puts a big strain on your bullpen. 2-0 on Fox. The pitch. That's a strike. Pops it up. And it's Valbuena to catch it. The birds flying around the ballpark. Indians used to that.
Yeah, the Seagulls checked their pocket schedule and saw a 1:20 start. They figured it's about time for dinner, but they don't realize the game was delayed an hour and 25 minutes at the start.
Where do they put their pocket schedule? Johnson a homer to lead off the 5th. I'm told in their billfold.
You know, I thought of that, but it was so bad I couldn't bring the words to my mouth.
Well, I have no shame. No problem doing it. A roller to Valbuena, and it's Carroll covering second. Lee with a 1-out homer, second hit of the day. It's now 7-2 Indians. Game live. Get highlights of all the action, analysis from Todd Hollandsworth, and check in on Lou's post-game remarks. Don't miss Lowe's Cubs post-game live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Todd will conduct the 7th inning stretch on Sunday. Today, Bears running back Matt Forte.
And then before we get started here in this inning, congratulations to Joe Torre with a victory last night, 3-2 over the Oakland A's. Joe moves into 5th place all by himself in the all-time managerial wins list. He was in a tie with Sparky Anderson at 21.94, but that 3-2 victory pushes Joe to 21.95.
The Dodgers have a 9-game lead in the National League West, 44-23. The 0-1 pitch to Mark DeRosa is high, 1-1.
I don't think anybody's going to catch Connie Mack on that all-time managerial victory list. Connie Mack sits at the top with 3,731 victories. John McGraw in 2nd place with 2,763. So commanding 1,000 victory lead. 3, 4, 5 managers on the list, all active: Tony La Russa, Bobby Cox, and Joe Torre, but a lot of wins.
That was a curveball that got away from Patton. 2-1. I wonder if Ted Lilly will work inside to Mark DeRosa tomorrow after the big spring training day he had against Lilly.
And you wonder if perhaps Ted Lilly wasn't trying to set Mark DeRosa up, knowing he was probably going to face him during the course of the season. We heard Greg Maddux say that he used to do that in spring training. He would pitch guys completely different than the way he was going to pitch them during the regular season, just to kind of throw him off the scent a little bit. I think that's a good story for Ted to use.
I was going to say it's a convenient excuse at the very least. 3-2 pitch. He struck him out.
Good knuckle curve from David Patton. Starts it down around the bottom of the strike zone, and the bottom just fell out of that pitch. DeRosa way out in front.
Uniform's different, but all the mechanics are the same. Mark DeRosa. Martinez with a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. If the Cubs are going to come back late, the bullpen has to keep the Indians right where they are. They can't get anything more at this point. Call it strike 3.
Good sequence. Bookend curveballs sandwiched around a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Chu with 2 outs. Patton has pitched well here lately. Last 8 appearances, 3 earned runs over 9 innings. Been a lot better at home than on the road. Bounce to second. This is Blanco, and here comes Matt Forte from the Bears with our 7th inning stretch.
To the ball game is Chicago Bears running back Matt Forte.
a three. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
Summer. Join us as Billy Joel and Elton John perform their face-to-face tour on Thursday, July 16th to Tuesday, July 21st. Rascal Flatts with their Unstoppable tour on Saturday, July 18th. Tickets are still available. You can visit tickets.com or call 1-800-THE-CUBS. Mezzanine suites are also available by calling 773-404-CUBS. Matt Forte, Bears running back, is with us in the booth. And before Andres Blanco bats, ball got out of the bullpen. Matt, nice job with our 7th inning stretch, and welcome to the former home of the Chicago Bears, Wrigley Field.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
Packed house today. Were you nervous? I mean, you carried it off like no big deal.
I was a little nervous at first. You know, I didn't want to one-hop the pitch up there, and you know, I'm definitely not a singer, so.
I'll tell you, your pitch was actually pretty good, Matt. You have a nice windup. Looks like maybe you played some ball somewhere along the line. Nice delivery, high leg kick, little slider off the outside corner, and you looked like you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, I played a little baseball all the way up until high school, my freshman year.
Opposite field base hit for Blanco to start the 7th, with the Cubs trailing 7-2. Got a really nice hand from this crowd. How about the fans here in Chicago?
No, they're great. You know, whether it's baseball or football, you know, whatever, hockey, whatever, they're great. So I just want to continue to, you know, keep doing well and, you know, keep the fans happy.
A lot of the talk this spring and summer, the acquisition of Jay Cutler. Are you excited to play with Jay?
Definitely excited. You know, we've been practicing for, you know, about a month and a half now together, and you know, just catching balls and running routes with him. So it's definitely going to be an exciting season coming up.
Aaron Miles batting for David Patton. Runner at first, nobody out. We're in the 7th. Cliff Lee has gone the distance for the Indians. Francisco in center makes a catch, 1 out. Well, you received the Brian Piccolo Award on April 23rd. You have to feel great about that. That's a wonderful award to receive.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Brian Piccolo, you know, he's a great player. And, you know, with him and Gale Sayers, I watched that movie Brian's song when I was in college. And, you know, just to be honored enough to win that award is definitely something I remember forever.
How do you assess your 2008 season? The numbers speak for themselves. You racked up a ton of yardage. What do you think you need to do to get better? As the it's past Shopik and Blanco now at second base.
To get better, you know, this 2008 season I think was just a good start, a good base, you know, start for me. And you know, I'm a lot more comfortable now with, you know, my teammates and with the offense too. So I'm excited to just go out there, with a new quarterback and to see what we can do.
Yeah, everything you do this year, it'll be the second time around. That definitely has to give you a little bit of a comfort zone. 1-0 on Soriano. And he pops it up behind first base. Martinez out there. Carroll. And it's Chu who had to leave his feet, but he made the play for the second out. Not much of an offseason for a football player, but when you do have downtime, how much do you work out, considering how much you have to work out during the season?
I work out all the time. I've been like that since I was, even in high school. And, we work out, like 4 days a week during the OTAs and stuff. And we go to the facility, but even on the weekends, I go to, one of the gyms that I can go to, export or whatever. And definitely go in there and work out and do something,
You're like Bob. He has to be in the workout room every day, no matter what.
I walk past the workout room every day. What do you like to do when you're not working out? When you got a little free time and you've already had your workout in for the day, what do you like to do to hang out?
I go out and hang out with, either my teammates, mostly, the guys that I'm friends with, on the team, which everybody's, real good, but I go by Devin or, Jason McKee's house and we play video games and stuff, or sometimes I stay at my house and just watch TV.
Congratulations. I know one of the things you've done in your downtime is get your finance degree from Tulane. So did you finish up this spring?
Yeah, in the spring. I had one semester left. I took 5 classes, and it was pretty tough to go back to school, but I'm glad I got it over with.
Well, congratulations for that.
Yeah, let me ask you, what's tougher, an NFL grind of a season or 15 credit hours? I wouldn't want to go back to school at this point, and as you said, it's not easy.
I would say they're both pretty close in competition. I mean, to go back to school and get that degree was pretty tough, but sometimes you gotta do stuff that you don't want to do.
Well, you got so close. It's great to see that you finished. But hope you don't have to really use that degree for a long time to come.
Oh yeah.
Worry about your main job right now, and that is to get the Bears to the promised land. 2-2 on another guy from Louisiana, your home state, Ryan Theriot. I apologize for no air conditioning when you got to the booth, but you said this is nothing.
Yeah, compared to Louisiana, that's 90% humidity and 90 degrees all the time.
Runner at second, 2 outs. And Theriot lines right at the shortstop. Valbuena for the final out. Enjoy the rest of your summer, Matt, and we look forward to the Bears in 2009. Should be a great season.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Bears running back Matt Forte, 7-2 Cleveland. Today, other than Cliff Lee, who's gone the distance for the Indians, 2 big 3-run homers. Valbuena in the second, Martinez in the third, both coming off Cubs starter Rich Harden. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Right-hander Aaron Heilman will work to Peralta, Shopik, and Valbuena in the 8th, with the Indians leading this one by 5.
Solid work by David Patton in the ball game today. Pitched a couple of innings, struck out 3 Indians hitters. He did walk 1 batter, but did not allow a base hit.
One strike on Peralta, triple, a line out, and a single, and he scored a run back in the 2nd. I mentioned it earlier, Bob, that the Indians did not win a World Series in that great run in the 90s and into the early part of this decade. You just rattle off the names: Tomey, Vizquel, Bell, Manny Ramirez, Richie Sexson, and Jeremy Burnitz, and Brian Giles at one time were all Cleveland Indians. Orel Hershiser, Jose Mesa, Charles Nagy. You go down the list. Can you believe they did not win a World Series?
Well, it just goes to show you how tough it is to win a World Series. And not only do you have to have excellent players on top of their game, but you need to catch some breaks. You need to be a little bit lucky. And for whatever reason, the Indians just didn't get those added pieces to get the big hardware.
Manager Mike Hargrove throughout those years. Ontario to first. Peralta is sent down. Lost in Game 7 in Florida in 1997. The Braves beat them in 95. Kenny Lofton, Eddie Murray, Sandy Alomar. And some great players. Roberto Alomar. Hit foul to the right. 1-1 on Shopik.
Carlos Baerga, big time offensive player through those years for the Cleveland Indians.
Bartolo Colon.
The ageless Julio Franco back when he was just a youngster in his 30s.
Oh, I can go back to the late 80s with you any day of the week. And Shopik is thrown out. Andre Thornton, mentioned Brett Butler, and Sal Bando's brother Chris.
Yeah.
With the Indians around that time. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Indians this Sunday at 1:20. But be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 males 14 and older will get a Cubs Golf Club cover, compliments of Comcast Sportsnet. The sweat meter in the booth has gone way up.
Way in the red.
It's really heated up. Whew. Feels like August. We had a delay of 1 hour and 26 minutes before the first pitch. We started in the mid-70s. We're now in the low 80s. That is our booth thermometer. Lifted the left. Easy play, Soriano. And Heilman deals a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom 8, Bradley, Lee, and Soto coming up. The Cubs trail 7-2. Scale at 7-2. Cliff Lee is still working as he faces Milton Bradley. Ball one. Lee starting the inning with 107 pitches. Pitching coach is Carl Willis. Bouncer up the middle, base hit.
Bradley with a clean single up the middle. It's time for today's Jimmy John's delivery. Every pitcher has a little something different they do when they go out to take the mound and warm up between innings. Cliff Lee is actually facing second base there.
Yeah, he's done it every inning. I've watched him throughout the day.
He turns around and climbs back up on the bump. Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys.
Right-hander Joe Smith will be summoned from the bullpen as Cliff Lee will head off. It's up to their bullpen the rest of the way. We'll see if the Cubs can do some damage here. Runner on, nobody out in the 8th, and we'll be right back. Right-hander Joe Smith is on to face Derek Lee with Bradley at first and no outs. 7-2 Indians. Side armor deals strike one. A lot of connections here. Joe Smith was involved in the same 3-team 12-player deal that sent Aaron Heilman from the Mets to Seattle. Smith ended up in Cleveland. Swooping slider, 0-2. And another guy involved in that deal, Franklin Gutierrez. Going from Cleveland to Seattle, there's a Cubs connection there because Gutierrez was acquired in the Dodger Indian deal back in 2004 that sent Bradley to LA. So Lee strikes out. That's the first out of the inning.
Saw that 242 batting average for right-handed hitters against Joe Smith. That sidearm delivery, the big sweeping breaking ball working from one side of the plate all the way off of the outside corner to get Derek Lee to swing and miss.
Outside, 1-0. Jose Escanio chatting with Lester Strode as he loosens. Toward the gap. And we'll get all the way to the wall. Bradley on his way to third. And Quaddy pointing at the bag. Not taking any chances here with a team down 5. Second and third for Jake Fox. Soto with 2 walks and a double today.
Yeah, real nice day for Giovanni Soto. Obviously seeing the ball really well at the plate right now. Took a couple of walks against a guy that doesn't walk a lot of hitters. And it's a sidearm fastball and tomahawks it into that gap in left center field. DeRosa with a real shallow line going after that ball. had no choice but to stop Milton Bradley at third base. Nowhere to go, down by 5.
Huge foul. We're going to see Kerry Wood today either way. That's my guess. The Cubs would like to, at the very least, get this into a save situation for the former Cub in the ninth. But even with the big lead, I don't think Eric Wedge is going to mess around with the way things have gone lately with his bullpen. I don't know if he's going to trust one of his other guys to close it out. There'll be a few butterflies for Woody, thinking about facing the Cubs for the first time. 0-2 on Fox. And swung at a really bad one. Over anxious there to knock in some runs. 2 outs. Reed Johnson coming up. He's the subject of our BMW Ultimate Drive of the Game, a home run. Leading off the bottom of the 5th. First Cubs run today, deep into the bleachers in left center, off Cliff Lee. All the Cubs need here is a single. They don't need a home run. Make it very interesting here. And if Johnson can knock in a couple, they'll get a 3-run deficit. Two 2-0 with Reed Johnson. It's right in the front of the batter's box. His front foot of the left foot right near the top of the box. Like Alfonso Soriano. A lot of guys will plant the back foot on the back line.
You know, for Reed Johnson, I can understand that approach because he's a good high ball hitter. For Soriano, for me, he's a dead low ball hitter. You would think Fonzie would try to get as deep in the box as possible, especially to allow that breaking ball to get down there around the knees or even a little bit lower where he really likes it.
Tough time laying off those pitches.
Oh yeah, I had a theory against sidearm right-handers. He throws it, I'm swinging. I had a lot of at bats like Jake Fox had against sidearm right-handers.
Capacity crowd today 40,155. Waited through a long rain delay. You see their Cubs get back into the ball game late. Smith coming on a 3-1. Bases loaded. He walked him. So 3 on for Blanco. Carl Willis, the pitching coach, heading out to the mound.
Lou does have a couple of options off the bench. Granted, Blanco is a switch hitter. Will take this at bat left-handed, but Kosuke Fukudome, Mike Fondo, both available from the left side of the plate off the bench. Looks like Fondo's going to hit in the pitcher spot should we get that far.
Willis, part of the world champion Twins bullpen in 1991. Pitched briefly for Detroit when they won the World Series in '84 as well.
Blanco's numbers career with the bases loaded. It's been a very short career, but had some success. 3 for 10 with a couple of doubles, driven in 7. He's hit the ball hard twice in the game today. Has a base hit back in the 7th inning. Also lined out to center field, his first at bat of the game.
The wind blowing out right now towards left center. Here we go. Bases loaded. Blanco hits it foul. Single, a double, and a walk in the inning. Smith will step off. He wants a new baseball. Guess it just wasn't the right moment to make a pitch.
Took his grip to throw that pitch and apparently just didn't like the way the ball felt in his hand. Try it again.
Gets a sign from Shoppel. Backdoor slider 0-2.
I don't know about that one. The ball where it was caught by Shoppel may have looked like a strike. That pitch is never in the strike zone.
Got behind early. At one point they were down 7-0. Solo homers in the 5th and the 6th from Johnson and Lee. Now a bases loaded situation in the 8th. The Cubs right now are 0 for 4. They've been in scoring position. Another 0-2 way outside. A ball and 2 strikes. Good take.
Hard sinker low and away out of the strike zone. Blanco had thoughts about going after it, but able to check his swing in time. Well, if he could get the bat head out in front of something here and hook it to right center field, it would definitely clear the bases, giving him a lot of room in that right center field gap.
And he pulls it, breaks his bat, and it's going to be fair. Bradley's in. Soto scores. Johnson held at third. Andres Blanco makes it 7-4.
Nice battling at bat by the young man. Got a slider down and in, jammed him a little bit, but flipped it down that right field line. Chu's throw comes back into second base, holding Blanco to a single, but he does plate a couple of teammates. We got a ball game.
We can close the book on Cliff Lee. He gave up 3 runs in his 7+ innings. As Eric Wedge is going to make a change, Mike Fontenot announced. Left-hander Rafael Perez has had all kinds of trouble this year against lefties. He is coming in 7-4. He'll be back. This year, look at the opponent's batting average at the bottom of your screen. In his career, lefties have batted just .221 against him. Walks have obviously been a big problem. 14 in under 19 innings.
And he was really good for the Indians last year. Pitched in 73 ball games. Gave up only 67 hits in 76 in a third innings pitched, but he hasn't missed many bats this year.
We were going to see Mike Fontenot, but now with the left-hander on the mound, it'll be switch hitting Coy Hill. The tying run has come to the plate. The Cubs trailed at one time 7-0. It's 7-4 in the 8th. They came back late yesterday against the White Sox. Strike one. Nothing gives a manager more headaches than problems with the bullpen. Tylenol, I'm sure, consumed by Eric Wedge and Carl Willis. That's what Cliff Lee's feeling right now, too.
Tylenol chased with some vodka. Bullpen will drive you nuts as a manager. I'll tell you, I mean, every other aspect of the game can be clicking on all cylinders. Your starting pitching can be good. Your offense and defense can be good. If your bullpen doesn't do their job, it's all for naught.
Only two bullpens in the majors have a worse ERA than the Indians at 4.98. Their starters actually with a higher ERA, and they came in 29th in the majors. Tapper foul, 1-2. And if you just look at the math, I mean, if you're Eric Wedge, you're saying to yourself this weekend, I mean, this is a game we have to win. I have my best starter on the mound. He gave me 7 quality innings. We had a 7-0 lead. This is the one we have to get. The matchups on paper favor the Cubs the rest of the weekend. Oka versus Lilly tomorrow, and Sowers versus Wells on Sunday.
A manager would never say that out loud, because obviously you don't want to upset the other pitchers on your staff and make them feel inferior. But the reality is, I'm sure that crossed Eric Wedge's mind looking ahead at this series.
A 1-2 to Hill. Also hit foul.
Just keep the line moving here, Coy. Find a way. Find a way. Big hole on that right side.
And it kicks away from Peralta right to the shortstop. Balbuena. Hill is safe. It's 7-5 as Johnson scores. And the line moving. And it's Soriano coming up.
The ball hit like a bullet down there to Peralta at third base. Short hop right out in front of him. He just tried to goalie up and block the ball. It bounces over to the shortstop Balbuena, and Coy Hill hustling down the line, able to leg it out.
That's an error on Peralta.
You just wanted an opportunity for Soriano to bat in this inning with some teammates on base, and that's exactly the situation in front of the Cubs right now against a struggling left-hander.
Two on for Soriano. Cubs trail 7-5. Blanco at second, and now Hill, the runner at first. Can they do it again? Trailing 5-1 in the bottom of the 8th yesterday to the White Sox. They tied it with 4 in the 8th, won it with a run in the bottom of the 9th. Today trailing 7-0 into the last of the 5th. And now within 2, Marmol and Gregg are up. Here's a pitch. Ball 2.
And it's going to be tough for Perez to get any borderline pitches. Kelly Shoppach back there behind the plate is just nearly goalied up on every pitch. He's not sure where Perez is going to throw the ball. Consequently, you can't make those borderline pitches look good. You're just trying to catch everything and keep it from going to the backstop.
Broken bat out into the gap. That'll drop down. They'll get another run. It's 7-6, and the tying run is 90 feet away.
Just enough speed on that fastball to get in on Soriano's hands and break his bat, but muscles it out into left center. Ben Francisco playing extremely deep in center field. Blanco will score easily. Good base running by Coy Hill to turn the corner at second and advance on to third. All right.
Back-to-back days, the Cubs with a 4-run 8th, and this one's not over yet. Matt Herges is in. 7-6 Indians. Matt Hergis is now pitching with runners at first and third, 4 in. The Cubs batting around Terrio, the 9th hitter of the inning. The pitch. Ball 1. Burgess is from Champaign. His sister Marcy's married to Todd Hollingsworth. Watching this game in our Comcast Sportsnet studios. Two and 0. Hill at third, Soriano at first. A pitch, sinker for a strike.
Bullpen roles leading up to Kerry Wood in this Indians bullpen are very fluid. Matt Hergis probably the closest thing the Indians have to a setup guy. At least he has the best numbers of the pitchers available late in the game.
Bounce to third, foul. Boy, Bob, you like to see the Cubs take advantage of the Peralta error as they did yesterday when Chris Getz committed an error to start the 8th. It has not been the most opportunistic offense, as they have left a lot of runners on base, runners in scoring position during their struggles lately. But the last 2 days they've come through late. A 2-2 pitch, fly ball out in the center, but it's Francisco to make the grab. The Cubs get 4 runs. We go to the 9th, 7-6 Cleveland. It's the ultimate baseball experience, featuring 100 out-of-market games per week, live on your computer, and catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Whenever you engineer a comeback like the Cubs have pulled off to this point, not all the way back, you need the bullpen to keep the other team right where they are. And Cubs have done that. Patton and Heilman combining for 3 scoreless innings, and there's Kerry Wood, and all of a sudden it looks to be possibly a much tougher save chance than it might have been otherwise. Might not even have been a save chance had the Cubs not gotten all those runs in the 8th.
Marmol looking for a bounce back outing, threw against the White Sox yesterday, 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits. Very unusual to see Carlos Marmol get hit the way he was in the ball game yesterday.
Punted foul to make it 1-2.
Well, because of the weather conditions and some of the game conditions, Carlos hadn't pitched for 4 days, which is an unusually long time for him to go without towing that rubber.
He pops it up near first. Derek Lee in fair territory with the catch. Lou said before the game regarding Carlos Marmol that he does need the work, and he probably won't sit for more than a couple of days at a time. Hafner will bat for Hergis. Boy, from 04 to 06, Travis Hafner was in the top 2 in the American League in on base plus slugging each year. We used to talk about Bobby Abreu, the best player who had never made an all-star team, and Travis Hafner will be at the top of that list. Battling a shoulder injury. Really gotten away last year. Just 57 games he hit under 200. The problem for Hafner is he'd been in David Ortiz's league, and he's a DH. Two balls, no strikes. Walked at least 100 times twice. Driven in 100 runs at least 4 times. Career high in homers 42 in 2006.
Like that ball might have hit it. Swung at a slider off the inside part of the plate. Ball was diving down and in. He didn't come close to hitting the baseball. It did. It hit him on the back leg. Yeah. And when you swing at a pitch and it hits you, it's a strike.
Outside on a slider, 3-1. He's from North Dakota. Ready for a payoff pitch. Here it is. He walked him. Our Feldco upcoming schedule. Makeup game Monday evening from Atlanta. We'll have it for you here on Comcast Sportsnet. We'll also have Sunday's series finale here against the Indians. We're in Detroit, and then the South Side coming up next weekend. Josh Barfield's going to run for Hafner. Eric Wedge in pretty good shape with his bench because of the big lead early. He didn't have to go to that bench much. Wedge knew if Hafner got on, he was going to take him out for a pinch runner.
Barfield not really a big time base stealer. He had 9 in AAA Buffalo last year. You have to go back several years in his minor league days with the San Diego Padres, a couple of 20 stolen base seasons. But he is faster than Travis Hafner.
Yeah, you don't have to be the fastest guy on the team to pinch run. You just need to be faster than the guy you replace.
It's like the old story about outrunning the bear.
Yeah.
I don't need to outrun the bear. I just need to outrun you.
Two strikes to Carroll. Cubs in double play depth. It's high, ball 1. By the way, random non sequitur. If we were in New York yesterday, we still wouldn't have started. They had a 5.5-hour rain delay before the first pitch between the Nationals and the Yankees. The Nationals won the game 3-0. And it was the first game in the history of the new ballpark in which a home run was not hit. It's supposed to start at 1. They started around 6:30. I have never heard of a 5.5-hour rain delay.
I really wanted to get that ball game out.
I thought we might see it today the way the weather looked around noon. Eventually it cleared up. We only had about an hour and a half of a delay. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
With a fastball at the knees on the outside corner. Marmol throws so many sliders that when he does throw his fastball near the strike zone, he catches a lot of hitters by surprise. As good a season as Mark DeRosa is having, right here is where you want the inning to end. You do not want Victor Martinez up to that plate with another runner in scoring position.
Of all the things Mark was looking forward to in his return to Wrigley Field, I would have to say facing Carlos Marmol would be near the bottom of the list. First time he's ever gotten in the batter's box against Marmol. 2-0 the count. Make it 3-0. Marshall cranking it up very quickly in the bullpen.
I would assume he's getting ready for Chew, because for Victor Martinez it really makes very little difference. As a matter of fact, he has a higher home run ratio as a right-handed hitter. Coming into play today, a .338 hitter right-handed, .347 left-handed.
Way outside, 2 walks in the inning. As strange as it is to say, Bob, I think Marmol's gotten to a point, not that it's his comfort zone to walk 2 or 3 in an inning, but he's so used to having to deal with runners on base. I think it feels fine. If you talk to him like right now, as some people groan as he just walked another guy, he'd tell you, I'll get out of it. Because, as you said, he doesn't give up many hits. Now, it's not an ideal way to work, but he's had a lot of experience in getting into and out of these sorts of jams.
Well, it would sure make it a lot easier on his pitching coach, his manager, and the fans here at Wrigley Field if he could find a way to eliminate those walks.
Well, again, it's a very specific example, but was he around the plate too much yesterday? Is there a little bit of that wildness that plays into his effectiveness? We'll find out as he faces Martinez. I think the two problems here in this at bat. Number one, the power you talk about with Martinez, but the other thing is a very keen eye at the plate. He's not going to help Marmol, especially if he misses badly. My guy is going to go outside that strike zone a lot. He'll just move the line for Chu and force the Cubs into a decision, and it will probably be Marshall.
Sometimes you can just tell when a hitter's really seeing the ball well. A 1-0 pitch. Victor Martinez probably anticipating a fastball somewhere in the strike zone, recognized that slider out of Carlos Marmol's hand immediately and laid off.
Don't want to give it right back after getting 4 to draw within 1. They have a date with Kerry Wood in the bottom of the ninth. They'd like to meet up with Kerry Wood, down just 1. 2-1 to Martinez, 2-2.
Nice job by Marmol to work his way back in the count. Martinez taking all the way on the 2-0 pitch, got a fastball right down Main Street, and then Marmol goes right back to that signature slider for a called strike 2.
Got him. Strike 3 to end the inning. I think Randy Marsh, you tell him he swung at it. Whatever it is strike 3. And Kerry Wood's coming in. The Cubs trail by 1. So it's come down to this, 7-6. The last 6 runs have been scored by the Cubs. Trevor Crow's into play center. Moving Francisco over to left. So Mark DeRosa out, Kerry Wood getting a nice ovation from the crowd as he was announced, making his 27th appearance. Got off to a slow start, but he's been better as of late. He's finally getting his breaking ball over the plate. He faces Milton Bradley, who fouls it away. Wearing that very familiar number 34. DeRosa was traded to Cleveland. Kerry Wood signed as a free agent inside. Got a 2-year deal with a vesting option for 2011. Former first-round pick of the Cubs in 1995, the 4th overall pick. He was the Rookie of the Year in '98, an All-Star as a starter in '03, and last year as the Cubs closer. A kick in the pitch, outside, 3-1. It seemed like Kerry walked guys a fair amount last year, but it really wasn't so. Only 18 walks and 66 in the 3rd innings to go along with 84 strikeouts. Big rip by Bradley. 3-2.
Still good velocity on the fastball from Kerry Wood. That last one at 96 up in the zone. Milton Bradley 2 for 7 lifetime against Kerry Wood. A couple of strikeouts and a walk.
A pop-up. Peralta makes the catch. Nicely done by Johnny Peralta.
Fastball in on the hands of Milton Bradley. That little floater looked like it was going to get over the head of Johnny Peralta momentarily, but we mentioned before he used to play shortstop, still does play shortstop on occasion, able to get back there and make the catch.
Derek Lee facing his former teammate. A 1-0 pitch. That's deep to left for Derek Lee, and it will go! Tie ball game. His 2nd homer of the day. It's 7-7. They have erased a 7-0 deficit. We are tied.
That's as quick a swing as you'll ever see Derek Lee take right there. Our Heineken home run replay results in a bullet line drive. Kerry Wood shook off his catcher Kelly Shopik a couple of times before throwing that inside fastball. Derek Lee with a lightning quick swing got the barrel on it. D. Lee against Kerry Wood going into that at bat had been 1 for 11 with 4 strikeouts. That's an .091 batting average. Obviously made an adjustment.
The 12th blown save of the year for the Indians. The 3rd for Kerry Wood. So it's Soto now. The 1-0 pitch to him. That's hit well, but Chu makes a nice catch as he slides for the 2nd out. Kerry Wood's reaction after the Derek Lee game-tying homer into the bleachers and left.
The Indians in their no doubles defense almost bit him right there. That drive to right field by Giovanni Soto very nearly got down in front of Chu.
The first run allowed by Woody in 12 appearances. Swing and a miss by Jake Fox. Into the count. So Cliff Lee gets a no decision. He'll remain 2 games under 500, and the Cubs get Rich Harden off the hook today. Guess he'll get a no decision. Just missed. The Indians took 1 step toward their dugout. Two-2 pitch. It's low. It's full with Reed Johnson in the on-deck circle. Derek Lee with 10 total bases today. 2 homers and a double. And he just tied it. Ready for a 3-2. He walked him.
One player available for Lou Piniella off the bench at this point, Kosuke Fukudome. As we're creeping down there toward the bottom of the order, you have to believe he's going to save Kosuke as a possible pinch hitter in that pitcher spot should we get there. So Jake Fox is going to have to run for himself. Rich Harden, the usual pitcher who pinch runs, obviously not available today.
Johnson bunts it foul. He caught Peralta very deep at third. He was just trying to move the line.
That's a good idea. Johnny Peralta was playing way back at third base. You just want to move that potential winning run into scoring position any way you can right here if you're Reed Johnson.
Kevin Gregg has replaced Kerry Wood as the Cubs closer. He's up. Almost hit him. 1-1.
That's a pitch we've seen Reed Johnson turn into and take one for the team in the past. That time spins out of the way, takes the pitch off the plate for ball 1.
Up into center. Crow with 2 hands, and we'll go to extra innings. The Cubs have gotten used to extras. Derek Lee has been red hot. 2 homers today. The last one tying it up in the 9th off Kerry Wood. It's 7-7. the closer, Kevin Gregg, is on. 1 day shy of his 31st birthday. Now, Bob, if you are unfamiliar with the concept of extra innings, if the Indians score, the Cubs will have a chance in the bottom of the inning.
I'm glad
at the end of the inning, whichever team leads wins.
Glad you explained that.
Okay.
Never experienced extra innings before.
This is the 9th time the Cubs have gone to extras already this year.
Bonus baseball.
6th time this month we've gone beyond 9. We're hoping it doesn't rain again. It may be coming. 2-2 on Chu.
It looks like it's working its way this direction. We got a little bit of time to play with here. 3 quick outs and a run, no problem.
Well, the way I look at it, if you're going to come back from a 7-0 deficit, you might as well win it in extras. Make this game rain delay programming down the road.
Yeah.
Make it one of those instant classics. That'll be a base hit for Chu. The Indians have not scored since the 4th inning. I'm sure they thought they had plenty with 7 runs. And Cliff Lee on the mound. The Cubs battered their bullpen. They have scored 10 runs in the final 2 innings of regulation, the last 2 games.
Eric Wedge does use just about everybody in his lineup to put down sacrifice bunts. Johnny Peralta showing bunt there as Kevin Gregg throws a pickoff attempt over to first base. Pretty much every starter, with the exception of Victor Martinez, has put down at least a couple of sac bunts for the Indians this year.
Jake Fox ready to charge at third. Derek Lee at first. 0-2 on Peralta. Seagulls are swarming again. Blown outside on a breaking ball, 1-2. Cubs are 3-5 in extras, 1-1 at home. The Indians are 2-3, 1-1 on the road. Left field corner, just foul. Big break for the Cubs. The Indians might have been able to take the lead right there.
Well, hooking down that left field line, that's the best possible result. I mean, Kevin Gregg threw one right down the middle of the plate that time to Johnny Peralta in a 1-2 count. Obviously not the location he was looking for. Got away with one.
Foul, pop back to the seats. We started late and we're now in extras, so a lot of other games are about ready to start around baseball as interleague play continues. We may have some scores for you coming up.
Finals
Still
from the
one or
West
two.
Coast.
What's that?
Finals from the West Coast.
Yeah. An early one tomorrow. Noon start. Day game Sunday, and then off to Atlanta, Detroit, the south side of Chicago, and Pittsburgh on the next trip. Hit hard, but Blanco with a great play. Terrio throws late. What a play by Andres Blanco just to snag that very hard hit ball. They get an out at second. One away.
Well, I'll tell you, Len, Andres Blanco has been really impressive with the leather in his short time here at the major league level. Made a great adjustment on a bad hop. That ball came up and almost hit him in the chin, able to shovel on to Ryan Terrio for the force at second. Have to be content right there. That's an unnecessary throw by the Riot. Fortunately, Derek Lee comes off the bag and makes sure that ball doesn't go in the first base dugout.
Lee coming over, and it hit Derek. I don't think Gio saw it. Well, that ball came back, the wind blowing it back. And it'll be an error on Derek Lee. So new life for Shopik. Well, that was a strange looking play.
Real strange looking play. That's one of the advantages you have as a home team here at Wrigley, though. You know, because of the wind conditions, that those balls will come back into play when the wind's blowing out. Derek and Gio both got caught looking at each other on that play.
I had a bad angle on my original look. Soto did see it, but gave way for Lee. Inside, 1-1.
Not necessary to assign blame, but a catcher is taught to chase everything you can get in foul territory until you hear somebody call you off. Not sure if Derek was verbally calling for that ball. It didn't appear so.
If you're looking for the White Sox game in Cincinnati, you can find them on Comcast Sportsnet Plus, which is CLTV in most areas. Check csnchicago.com for more channel information. The White Sox and the Reds in Cincinnati, and we will go to that game following our game here on Comcast Sportsnet. It's going to hold up, but it kicks off the glove of Soriano. And the Cubs defense struggling here in this inning. Well, Kelly Shopik with another extra life. 2 errors in the at-bat.
Not an easy play for Soriano, but a play that should be made. That ball was hit on a line right at him. Froze in his tracks initially, then comes in and tries to make the basket catch. Just hits off the little finger of the glove and drops. Not an easy play by any stretch of the imagination, but a play that needs to be made.
Well, we've seen one great defensive play in the inning. That was Blanco, and then 2 errors by Lee and Soriano. So 2 on for Valbuena, who homered, knocking in 3 in the second. 0 for 3 since. Strike 2. in the dirt.
We're having some problems with the game balls right now. Get into a long ball game where there have been a lot of fouls out of play, a lot of baseballs in the dirt, been bounced out of play. Sometimes you got to go back in and rub up a couple dozen more baseballs to play in extra innings, and Giovanni Soto didn't like any of the balls that Randy Marsh gave him to throw out to Kevin Craig, so Randy Marsh just called for a new batch.
We'll see if Eric Wedge gets aggressive here with his base runners. With one out and runners at first and second.
Valbuena coming into play today had struck out 1 out of every 3 at bats on the season. I'd be surprised if he does start the runners, but we'll see.
They are not running. Swing and a miss.
Greg just rushes a high fastball by the youngster, gets a swinging strike, 2 outs in the inning.
Ben Francisco now playing left. He began the game in center. Slider is away. Greg got the win yesterday against the White Sox. With the scoreless night, gave up a hit, but no runs. Strikeout. This game into the bottom of the 10th, tied at 7. Greg ready for a 2-2 pitch. He just hit him to load him up.
Ball up and in. Just does clip Francisco on the back of that left elbow.
And Ryan Garco will bat for Kerry Wood. So here comes Garco with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 10th. Former Cub Luis Vizcaino, now a member of the Indians, and he's going to pitch the bottom of the 10th. Old home week. These former Cubs coming back to Wrigley. Vizcaino wasn't a Cub that long.
Garco was checking the weather before he gets in there to take this at bat.
Gotta be careful. I mean, this is a guy, we talk about all the Indians getting hit by pitches. Garco not afraid to get plunked. 49 times he's been hit in his career. And that's significant in this spot. Called strike. Set the runners for you. Peralta at third, Shopik at second, and Francisco at first. Kelly Shopik has to be wondering, how did I get here? 2 errors committed during his at bat. The 0-1 pitch, low, 1-1. Now it's 1-2. The irony in these situations, Kerry Wood blew the save, but he could get the win if the Indians can squeak out a run here and then hold them in the bottom of the inning. Kevin Gregg's trying to keep him at 7. One-two pitch. Slider buried in the dirt, low and outside.
But Garco to check on that very same pitch on the pitch before. Why not go back to it one more time?
Garco tied the game in the bottom of the 9th with a 3-run double on Wednesday against Milwaukee. He lays one out into his center, but Kosuke will get it. He almost overran it. And he makes the play. They leave him loaded. Bottom 10. We're tied. Overran it.
Yeah, judging from the swing that Garco took, I agreed with Kosuke's break on that ball, trying to come in to keep it from dropping, but then at the last instant that ball appeared to take off on him. Might have been knuckling as it got out there into shallow center field, but able to make that quick adjustment at the end to get a huge out.
Former Cub Luis Vizcaino now working for the Indians. He began the season with the Cubs, just 4 appearances, no runs in 3 2/3 innings. Was designated for assignment on April 23rd, later released. He signed with the Indians on May 14th. So with Cleveland 1-2 with a 491 in 10 games. Bob, he was getting people out with the Cubs, but his stuff didn't look that crisp. And I'll tell you, it's been a long day for Randy Marsh. Tom Farinella from the umpire room helping him out with the cold, wet towel between innings, trying to stay hydrated back there.
Yeah, talking about Vizcaino and his stuff, it was smoke and mirrors how he was getting guys out. His sinker was flat, his slider was flat. He threw a lot of pitches right over the heart of the plate. Good rip that time by Blanco at a first pitch sinker.
Grace Blanco contributing on offense, 2 hits, including a big 2-run double in the 4-run 8th. The bunt doesn't get past Vizcaíno.
Well, it was almost a great bunt. A little further to the first base side, or a little bit harder. If he gets it past Vizcaíno, he could walk to first base.
Here's Kosuke for the first time, 0 for 21 over his last 6 games, 3 for his last 39 over his last 11.
Well, the wind is still blowing out.
Yesterday was a guy mired in a deep slump who came up with a game-winning hit. Fly ball to left. Francisco's on the track. Makes the catch in and out of the ivy. Kosuke just missed it.
Boy, he hit it in the absolute perfect spot. That is the shortest part of left field, right at the bend in the well out there. But Ben Francisco, with good concentration, stayed with it right back into the vines to make the catch.
Man. And as he just learned, there's no padding behind the ivy. Soriano, RBI single in the 8th. The pitch. Sliders outside. Marshall's up for the second time today. We are in the 10th because of Derek Lee's game-tying homer off Kerry Wood in the bottom of the 9th. The Cubs were down at one time 7-0. Home run swing came up empty. Derek's second homer of the day, his 3rd in 2 days. Two-1 to Soriano, now 3-1. Once again, those viewers looking for the White Sox. Right now they're on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. That's CLTV in most areas. Go to csnchicago.com for channel information. And we will go to that game following our game here at Wrigley Field. Three-one pitch, ball 4. Bringing up Ryan Terrier. Obviously, the scouting report would change drastically if he did this, but I think Soriano right now, the way teams are going at him, he could walk 3 or 4 times a day.
I think you're right.
He's walked twice in this ball game.
He rarely sees a fastball in hitters counts 2-0, 1-0, 3-1. He usually gets a slider. He got a 2-0 slider from Vizcaíno in that past at bat. Took a home run swing at it, didn't miss by much, but I think you're absolutely right. If he would just go up to the batter's box and stay in there, I don't think they'll throw him 3 strikes before they throw him 4 balls. Does he have enough legs to steal a base?
6 for 8 on the season. Cubs sure could use it with Ryan Theriot at the dish. Francisco still pinned up against the warning track and left. Not quite as deep in the other spots.
Billy Shopik behind the plate for the Indians, thrown out 23% of the attempted base stealers this year, 8 out of 35. And the Indians trying to take some of the spring out of Fonzie's legs over there at first base. Repeated throws over, none close. And if the Indians are as concerned as it appears that Soriano might be running after a series of throws to first base, sometimes you pitch out on that first pitch to the following hitter. It served as a pitch out, a wide fastball.
Into the evening hours, bottom 10, 7-7. The 1-0 to Theriot is a strike. There goes Soriano. Here's the throw. It's late.
What a great jump by Alfonso Soriano over there at first base. Boy, he is off and rolling. Crossover step, accelerating into his slide at second base. No chance.
I don't know if we've seen that guy.
No.
This is his third year as a Cub.
That's the most explosive speed we've seen from Soriano on the bases since he's been a member of the Cubs.
And now he's only 2 bases away from the Cubs winning this game.
And now the Indians outfielders have moved in at a more normal depth. They were playing in no doubles with Soriano at first base, but now that he's in scoring position at second, they have to position themselves in a spot where they think they can throw him out at home plate on a base hit.
The 2-1 to Theriot is off. Well, caught the corner, according to Randy Marsh. 2-2.
Ooh, man. Late call, too, that time from Randy. Looked at it too long.
Vizcaíno ready. Quick look at Soriano. And a foul out of play off to the right.
Just a little something here, Riot. We'll have to hit it to bleachers. Find a hole.
Well, you want to take advantage of the Soriano 2-out walk and then a stolen base. 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. Martinez can't get it into right. Soriano coming around. Cubs win! Cubs win! Ryan Theriot with his second game-ending RBI hit. past a 7-0 deficit. They win it 8-7 in 10 innings. The table setters got it done. Luke Stuckmeyer, take it away.
All right, thanks, Len. Derek, first of all, boy, you're on a roll. 16-game hitting streak and now 3 hits, 2 homers today. Tell me about the 9th inning.
Well, Woody actually made a good pitch and jammed me, but the wind's blowing straight out today, so I was fortunate. I got up and got out of the park. But it's a great team effort. We didn't give up. Just like yesterday, team battled back, and this is a big win for us.
Down 4 runs in the 8th yesterday, down 5 runs in the 8th today. Are these the new never say die Cubs?
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes you need that confidence to know you're able to come back. And I think yesterday gave us that confidence. So today we never felt like we're out of it.
Lou said, hopefully this is something you guys can build on yesterday. Now 2 in a row. You feel like this can start to roll along now?
Yeah, I think we're seeing the bats coming alive. And, it's a little more exciting when you're scoring some runs. Makes the game a little bit easier. So hopefully we can keep it rolling.
We'll tell fans just not to show up till the 8th inning from now on.
No, we like to do this a little bit earlier in the game and, make it a little bit easier on ourselves.
Great game. Congratulations. All right, let's send it back up to Len.
Thanks, Luke. Kevin Gregg now with the wins in the last 2 games for the Cubs. A cue shot by Terrio got past Martinez. They gave him a hit. His 2nd game winner on the homestand. Cubs 3-3 this week. And we'll take a look at that play when we come back. Cubs win 8-7, the final score in 10.